here at YouTube already. So I was just opening up with it. I was like, I think I talked about this before. I really like this comic. Um, Picked it up for very little, like $4. I just love this. I love how this is painted, the cheeriness, the apple falling out, that cupcake. You pick up that cupcake and just eat it. So well done. Just so nicely done. Something you won't see today. You just won't. This was 25 cents. I think it was from my comic shop over on eBay. But very nice. Which is good because I'm going to be doing some painting. Now, wait a minute. This isn't showing them live. Why is it not showing them live? I've been having problems today. Today, I lost my Swampy's Florida Facebook page, and I lost my entire Instagram page. It's just gone. All right. Oh, okay. Oh, great. I'm showing a blank board. Always wonderful. All right. That always encourages people, doesn't it? So I'm just laying this out here. Let me get down here. And I hope you have your... I'm having problems with this. This to fit in the screen. Here we go. That's not what I want. That's better. Okay. Over Facebook, I penciled this, and I penciled that, and I penciled and inked that. Actually, I did something on this side too. But this is my MerMay for today. I need to scan this. So I'll do that for today and the day. I pointed to these and I watercolor while I was at the homeschool convention. My intent is to watercolor here. And I was going to watercolor this and these. I'm not sure which one I'll watercolor first. Let's find out. First of all, let's make sure I have something to drink. Since the hour stopped, I have my friend Carrie asked, who's a homeschooling mother, asked me to look over a Florida history curriculum, which I did, and what I saw was extremely disturbing. The history that they're selling is basically a bunch of it's mostly YouTube links to learn the history, and it's not even their YouTube links; it's someone else's. Their book references. There's a whole chapter about Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. Book references didn't included none of her books. Now, admittedly, these are for young people, and her books are written for those little rougher to read. I admit, but you still should reference her books, even if you have trouble reading them. River of Grass is very difficult to get through. I don't deny that, but some of her other books are quite easy. Her collection of short stories are very easy, and most all of them take place in Florida. And anyway, it was just the whole book was disturbing to me. There's some things I liked, but part of all this is some egging on I'm getting about doing one of these, which maybe I'll do. Okay, I'm opening up my frosty orange just because feel like having orange. Oh, okay. There's some orange. And I still can't see what I need to see here. Here we go. All right. I've got a Decana, which is a Florida ice cream company. Their strawberry sundae plastic container full of water. And the one thing I did not open up, I admit I did a lot going. Not only that, but I'm trying to finish a book called Bubble in the Sun, which is pretty good in some places, but needs some editing. They too get into Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. Tell you, nobody would be more upset about all this than Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. She did not like attention, like that especially, where she is the pivotal part of trying to explain the boom and crash in Florida and the history of Florida. That's a little much. This Florida curriculum, written by some lady named Carmen, she has the whole thing on the space program. All of her reference books, not one involves space program in Florida. Not one. So she's obviously from out of state. She's just cobbling together whatever she's cobbling together. All right, let me get a brush. I know the brush I want to use. I'm sorry I didn't have this ready. I wanted to look at it. I thought I'd just peek at the curriculum, and I got real too involved in it. I'm glad I did, because I'm glad I was able to make a... Here we go. This is the brush I was using at... now, as I was saying to those who are inquiring, it's best to use a pretty good brush when you're watercoloring. The better the brush. Don't use cheap brushes. I had to buy a watercolor set when I was at the homeschool convention because I didn't have any with me. So it came with, I think this is the brush it came with, Prang. Prang is not a brush you use for seriously doing watercolor because it will discourage you and you will never want to do it again. Do not recommend that. Okay, I got my watercolors here. Yes, I know I could have more ready than I do. Should have been. I need to go over the history because I'm going to be back into the work world tomorrow, and I'm not going to have a lot of time. Now, as I've said before, one thing I do is I tend to paint upside down. One thing I want to do, I want to get this bear. I don't paint, as my friend Mark Bennett will tell you, I'm not one to follow as to how to paint because I don't use a methodology that's easy to follow, for one thing. And it's thought that I could, let me get the little tail in here. Because I'm thinking storytelling. Okay, so one thing I did was I established where the light is, and that's that little arrow. So the light's coming this way, everything's darker on this side. Just helps me think it more. But I'm really thinking about storytelling. That's number one priority. Storytelling, storytelling, storytelling. This has to read right. Oops. Sorry. This is a lot longer than those other two I showed you. Sorry, the leftovers of that flu from a month ago. This is cough. Yeah, I should have a little bit of cold medicine just before I did the last live at Facebook. I lost my Swampy Florida Facebook page. I'm not sure what to do about it. And my Instagram page. I just don't have time to chase these folks around. And plus, it did me no good back in September when I lost my pages. There's one thing indicating that possibly this was just a brownout or something happening with Instagram. We'll see. But I don't see a way of contacting them. But Facebook has that option, though. Did me no good at all. Not at all. I'm using crescent board, by the way. A little sheet of crescent board. These will go for sale, but I'm not sure how or where yet. Not something I'm good at doing. Just like technology. One thing I learned over the decades is there never should really be a white, but not white. and I thoroughly admit if I was doing this live, I would not be watercoloring this. Bulky bear. I originally done this at the homeschool convention for someone who asked me to draw a bear. I drew a bird on the next branch. Got some good responses to that on Facebook, so I thought I'll go ahead and do this as a painting as much as I did the other two that I briefly showed there. I'll probably put both of these up for prints at Fine Art America. That's pretty easy to do. Add a little bit of this in here because I'm going to blend all that. And I scribble over here because this is where shadow and shade are going to be. Because that's the light coming from the other direction. Mixing a little burnt umber in there. I forget where the people were from. Each of the drawings at the Florida Homeschool Convention were based upon the areas they were from. I think these folks were from Ocoee, Western Orange County. Think about it. There's a lot of pine trees over there. A lot of pine trees. I'll go ahead and just go right to this. Whoops. Or less specific. Because here I want to get to this darkness. I'm going to mix this burnt umber with some brown. As much as I've hiked, I really get a feel for what these trees feel like or are, which is pieces and parts. So look, if you go through some pine trees, you'll notice that they're all little pieces and parts. It looks like someone's gone and glued a bunch of pieces of some sort of tiling onto a tree. It's true, it does look like that. I want to get that feel. I want to get that feeling right here. These patches aren't measured out. When you look at the pine tree, they're just little chunks of whatever. You can show some shadows over here of the chunks, but now I need to get that shadow in there too. But first, I'm gonna get the rest of these branches in here. I need to make, when I did the drawing for the children, I didn't make the branch thick enough for a bear to be hanging off of, so I made this one a lot thicker. This is a cardinal. This was established yesterday when I penciled this here when I was doing the live YouTube here. A cardinal staring down. Oh, if you get a chance to click the thumbs up button, I appreciate it. Especially as I lose my social media right and left. Can't believe my swampy Florida's gone again. Just get a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do is after I do this, I'm going to go back in here with black line and kind of help define things a bit because my work, I'm really more of a line artist than anything. To me, it tells the story better. And that's just me. I like that. I like that stuff. Okay, let me see if I can make that a little more chunky. Which I'll come in with a little line work. And yeah, I can leave it like it is. Nah, I like the line. A little bit. I'm not going to get too crazy. A little bit darkness in here. What this the burnt umber also does is add a sense of red to it, which is always good. You rarely see red outside in the while wandering unless someone's dropped a balloon someplace. Pretty much all browns and greens and grays. So that little extra is always good. I think something's been going on this weekend involving social media. My friend Gar the Ghoul got his page hit, and I saw someone else mentioning it. Maybe there's something going on. Memorial Day weekend, people with free time and going after whatever they can go after. I just had such solid passwords, I just can't imagine. And I don't know what I'm going to do about Swampy Florida. Swampy Florida is still on Blue Sky and Twitter and Truth Social. So I guess I'll keep adding the happy days there. I forget what tomorrow is. This is good. Okay. A little bit more. I'm taking the burnt umber, the burnt umber and the yellow ochre together. I'll probably just put this aside and let it dry for a little bit. And I do work fast because I just have no patience. My hyperactive self. And then I've been drawing fast drawings for 46 years. Time to sit and do acrylics and things like that. It's got to be quick. Ooh, that's a little darker than I wanted it. I'm going to lighten that quite a bit. Actually, I'm not doing the correct leaves for a pine tree because they're not true. They're not leaves. But see, I don't want to get into a lot of. I'd rather, if I'm going to get into some showing fur and such, I'd rather do that. Whoops, green. I'd rather do that with a pen. A little bit more of that red. I'm gonna add a little bit of a little bit more there. When I do this, so I'm going to go to another one I want to paint, and I'll paint that. Then I'll come back and add the black line to this. Let me see, where's the other brush I had? Far over here. I'm probably lost. I showed it when I started. When I put it down. And again, oh, here it is. This one right here. A little bit of this. Yellow ochre again. Our black bears in Florida are different than black bears in other places. I'm taking a little artistic license besides the trees. It's only the facial features of the buyer. I wasn't thinking how much I was going to use line here, but I think I'm going to use a lot more than I thought I was. Just because I know some of the things, details I want to get in really require that. I know a little bit more of that brown. Right. Ugh. More sense of that. See, I still have too much white here, so I'm going to get in here and just kind of blend it all best I can. And I still don't have that real right. I see something goofing up on here. Gotta get some more detail here. Where's my detail here? Thing in the shadow of the bear. There we go. Bear staring at it. The rest I think I can do with line, and I'll get it. It'll work. All right, that's one. I've got the scrub jay. Oh wait a minute. How about I kept that? Yeah. Just scrub jay's a popular bird in our state. Okay, let's always try to figure out where the light's coming from. because I have this bird looking this way, might probably best go ahead and have the light coming down there. I just got paint on my hand. What else is new? I can't stress how important it is to know the anatomical construction of whatever it is you're painting, just so you know what the heck your form is. I'm gonna go back to the other brush because I like. Feel free to comment or let me know how you are or who's here or whatever. I like to interact with folks. I'm an entertainer at heart. A little bit of that light gray. I mean, one of the tough things about doing this live is I can't really see this board. I have this camera phone things in my way. Now, I might add sky and all to this. With the wood here. By the time I get this done, I can go over and we're doing the watercolor caricatures out at the Disney Military Industrial Complex, as I call it. I certainly learned how watercolor can be applied, and you can ink right over it almost immediately. It dries so fast, especially on boards like this. So by the time I get this done, which will just be 15 minutes or so, I should be able to go right over to finish the bear. Oops, I'm not seeing those. Right here. I have a vine going through here. I just thought give it a little more interest in something or other. The reason I like to work upside down is that you're at the tip is your heaviest amount of paint. So when you put it down, you're getting your darkest area, and then you can come in and lighten it from there. It's not the way you're supposed to do things, it's the way I've done things. Take it for what it's worth. My friend Marv Bennett did not like my technique of that. And Marv's brilliant at watercolor. or painting in general, for heaven's sakes. Yeah, Marv's kind of retired now. I keep wanting to visit him. He's over south of me about an hour and a half or so, and I just not been able. Life has been so chaotic here the last number of months. The last couple of years here since I sold the house, things have not been. Got a little bit more darkness here. There we go. That's a little bit to add. Here's a little yellow. A little bit of yellow in here. Here, get a little bit of this stuff. I used to watercolor so much when I was doing the caricature thing, and we were doing watercolor caricature, and I've just gotten, that was 25, 30 years ago. I was intending to do it during these lives last year, but it got very chaotic. And thank any of y'all that are watching or participating. Again, please, if you get a chance to click the thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Really thank all those who did that yesterday. A bit of water in there, so a little lighter. I'll get it lighter and then add the darker, not the other way around. I'm gonna need that brush to do that. Well, actually, what's happening is the back side of this is loosening. Let me tighten that. So I get a little more to a little better point of some sort. I admit the water brush pens aren't the best of keeping points and all, but I love that you can carry your water anywhere. Though I have this one oddly enough empty. I was using it with water at the homeschool convention because I couldn't just go get water. In fact, I had nowhere to put it. That's still, wow, that's, nope, it ain't plain ball. So I'll use this other one. This right here. Get a little green on the posts too. sorts. I may try to get on YouTube a couple more times this week. Um, Maybe doing a birthday card for somebody. And I'll do it here because it'll help get it done. Either I need to go somewhere and go do it. I may do that too. Who knows? But I need to be putting more videos out. Yes, I could mask all this. But I don't have the patience for that. I really don't. I'll let you somebody. I was talking to a fellow at the homeschool convention about this. This. And something I was taught, but I still do, from my teacher, Greg Hildebrand, which is adding purple to really give a. I should have done that with a bear. Maybe I'll go back on the bear and do that too. Oddly enough, Mark Bennett, who does watercolor paint, watercolor, he also tends to use a purple. Your lights are a color, your shadows are a color. Don't think of them as white and black. They're not. I wish I felt I was good enough to do line, say using a black line, using a brush line like this, but I just don't think I'm good enough to do that. If you are so able and have the patience, go do it. The scrub jay has black legs and black toes, and that's kind of tough. I want to get a little bit of this purple in here. one thing Greg would say is that you want to repeat your colors if you can. It helps pull the whole thing together because it does come across. Ooh, wow. Dark stuff. Hold on. Sorry, just a little. Haha. I'm having a battle with this brush right now. It's about time we'll go ink the bear and the cardinal. All right. Yep, 8:47. I don't know if I'll finish this. We may finish this another time. Go and get the eyeball in here. So I'll probably do more in the thing I want to do here is not too much, just enough here. There's more greenery out here someplace. Let's get this what I want it to be. Here. Oh, lightly holding it, a little too light. Oh, I actually have some music I was going to play. I didn't do that, did I? Admit to having a little bit of cold medicine just before I started the Facebook Live, but that was now almost 7, 8, 9, 10, almost 3 hours ago. You know, I feel things coming back. Almost. Well, maybe I won't get to inking this, and I'll ink it tomorrow. So close. Seems silly not to do it. Won't be able to get to this, so now time allotted. I'll let that dry. Back to the bear. And intent is to have this up for sale. I don't know for how much yet, or where even. Though I will, as I said, probably put over at Fine Art America so folks can get prints of it, but they'll be small. So I don't know what they're gonna have for price tag for it. It won't be much. I'm gonna put it as the size it is, which is 7x5, I think, or something like that. A few dollars, I think. The price have gone. Every price has gone up, and theirs has too. Not as dramatically as some, though. I noticed that with Miller Art Supplies at the homeschool convention. I expected their prices. I keep expecting their prices to go up. They do. They have, but not as dramatically. Mostly because they're making their own stuff, and that helps a lot. sure have weight on these branches. I was doing these, and again, this is a weird pine tree I've drawn, but drawing these quickly really makes a difference. I don't take a ton of time doing it. Just come across and go. If you look at a pine, it really is, as much as it looks like little pieces that have been taped to a trunk, it also, the patchwork looks quick and dirty. Quick lines. One thing I'm not really showing here are pieces of this gone, which I probably should. Especially with a big old bear on it. Make sure you can feel there's some fur there. Yeah, the original I did, the homeschool convention, also had this branch going off the page. Again, trying to get the impression that this big bear, that's a big branch. Otherwise, it'd been break. Big old bear on there like that. Almost done. What are we doing? Oh, 9:02. Getting close. Okay. That red was a little darker. Might go back in there. The little circles, maybe a woodpecker came up here and poked all over. A bit more texture to it. follow the form with the fur. Follow the form with the fur. Ooh, it's now 06. All right, let's finish up his leg and we'll be done. Let's let it go. I'm trying to get this feeling of fur, which I could do with a brush probably, but guess I'm just not that skilled. I'm just used to working the line. That's really the answer. Everything's line. Yeah, I could be real careful and take a thinner pen, draw over the line. Of course, I should be working much larger for that too. You see my Christmas prints, that's much larger and I can get a lot of fur in there. Oh, tricky. I don't think I haven't done a sign any of these, have I? Well, the first two I did, but I didn't sign these last two. That's pretty much ready to go. I probably could knock this out real quick. Give me a few minutes. I'm not going to get into too much detail as I do with the other. It's pretty simple. So, a lot more line in these two. This one. This one. We got this one. And we got this one. Little paintings here done. And I could add a lot more and all, but I think that's good. That'll do. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I do have these 7. Good. There's 4 I didn't have before. I have now. All right, that's all. Thank y'all very much for being here. If I do this Christmas print, very well maybe doing that shortly. I'm getting somewhere. Is sound on? I'm not sure. I may have had the whole time. I apologize. I just realized that. Oh well. Silent movies. Thank you very much for being here. We'll see y'all next time. Please click the thumbs up if you get a chance. Thumbs up. Hold it back up here. Thumbs up. That's good. Thank you. Take care. We'll see. Take care. Robert Smith calling. Bye bye. What's this green thing? I don't know. I'm saying it's still live. Stop. 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 End.